Welcome back, everybody, to the Dusty Bender podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chance Watson, with you as always, your other host, Taylor Wells. Episode 121 of the show coming at you guys, recording on October 12th, Thursday night, after, 3 days into the NHL season now?
That's right.
And, Taylor, we did not have a good night for our teams.
Our fantasy teams got absolutely spanked, as well as our actual fucking teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one of those days, you know.
Couldn't be more happy that hockey's back, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, even Morgan and I were sitting down watching it, so everybody's into it. It's good shit.
Absolutely. Well, folks, before we get into the hockey talk today, we got a few announcements to make. First off, we have some people to thank for the support in the show. First off, as always, the Hockey Podcast Network, part of just so many wonderful other podcasts out there. I think we're at over 100 podcasts that are a part of the network now, talking about every team under the sun. It seems like I think we're almost there, and if not, we're getting close. For a podcast for every single one of those teams. So jump on over to the hockeypodcastnetwork.com and check out all of the fantastic podcasts that we have. And by the way, while you're on there, maybe give the Dusty Bender one a like and a follow or a subscription on YouTube or Spotify or whatever the hell you listen to our show on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, next up, folks, we've got the Hub Tavern. Folks, the Hub Tavern is your home away from home, the hockey bar in Spokane, Washington on Monroe, part of the Seattle Kraken Anchor Alliance. So that means they are, it's what is he saying, Good? It's official.
It's official.
That's official. Yes, officially a part of the Anchor Alliance and one of the sponsored bars by the Seattle Kraken. Folks, the Hub Tavern is just your absolutely the best hockey bar ever, the best dive bar that you'll ever find ever. And once you walk in, you're going to be greeted by Dave or one of the other many friendly people behind the bar, and you'll never want to leave. You'll want to sit there and drink cheap beers, cash only, by the way, the entire time you're there. And whether it be a siren going by or Jared McCann just potting a fucking goal, you're going to be getting some discounts too. So go on into the Hub Tavern and have some fun. Watch some hockey.
Oh, we'll get into it, but I mean, they're saving some money, not giving out too much shit over the last two Kraken games. So,
there's no reason to hand anything out for those last couple wins. I was there for the that first game on Tuesday.
Yes,
there was one happy person in there, and he was rooting for the other team. So,
put him in the corner.
That's accurate. Also, next up, folks, longtime listener, longtime supporter of the show, John Miller, Fire Chief John Miller, supporting the show as always. Big shout out to John Miller. He's pretty happy tonight, even talking a little shit on the old Twitter right now after we were complaining about the what's the best way to put it? Anemic power play of the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah.
Less articulate and fancy way of saying that would be they sucked dick.
Big old dickies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so John Miller taking a little victory lap there, but good for him, you know. Miller and the Nashville Predators haven't had much to brag about lately, so that's good for them. I'm happy for him, and hopefully, while he's sitting in the firehouse not doing anything because nothing catches on fire in the winter ever, he can enjoy this win still.
Well, I still hold by my statement that they need to enjoy as many of the wins in the beginning of the season while everybody else is still rusty, because there's a good chance that team is not very good after 20 games. So
that's fair. I did feel like we talk about their first game because I did watch. I love first night hockey, especially when there's only 3 games. You can kind of they were staggered out purposely so you can watch them back to back to back. So I was able to watch all the games from the first night, and I can talk a little bit about the Preds in that first game. Yeah. But yes, thank you, John Miller, for sponsoring the show. We very much appreciate it. And last but not least, folks, we have a brand new sponsor that we are bringing on the show. And Taylor, you and I have frequented this establishment together back in college.
That's right.
Folks, Monterey Cafe in downtown Spokane. This is the karaoke bar to end all karaoke bars, folks. But not only does this place have awesome karaoke and a fun atmosphere, but it also has some of the best pizza that you will find in downtown Spokane. Hell, in
Mm.
Spokane in general. Go in, grab a slice, great prices, absolutely fantastic staff. Folks, we can't get enough of Monterey Cafe. Been going there for a while. I personally been going there for quite a while. And Taylor and I, hell, one of our probably top 10 best memories that Taylor and I have had
Oh
were
yeah.
Monterey Cafe.
I can't tell you the song that I sung, but it was definitely. I mean, we had a good time there.
Yes, it was. That
So
was the birth of our mutual buddy of ours, night where he gained his nickname Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott. Yep,
All
that's right.
I remember is our buddy just grabbing the mic, just like, who else is up next? He just grabs it, just eyes closed, leans back. Chase Elliott in the house, number 9. And at that night,
Mm.
at that time, we had just learned that Chase Elliott was a NASCAR driver.
Was a professional NASCAR driver. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just we didn't even know who it was.
not only did we learn who he is, but we learned that our buddy does look vaguely like this man.
Yep.
So,
Thank God for Google in 2014.
was it really 2014? Are we getting old?
That sounds right.
Nice. That
That's
does
just
sound right.
yeah. That sounds
Senior
right.
spring break, a senior year. God, what years fly by. So yes, absolutely happy to have Monterey Cafe on as a sponsor, and shout out to the owner Jeff. Jeff, absolute beauty. Despite him being a Penguins fan, we absolutely
Mm.
love it. Uh,
Tough loss first day, but he'll
yeah,
come around.
we'll recover. But also and huge, we're gonna, you know what, he is people who support local hockey is just absolutely fantastic to me. And here in this area, on this side of the state, Eastern Washington, big supporters of the Spokane Chiefs, the WHL team. So Jeff is a huge supporter of them as well. So we might be having a few stories from upcoming Chiefs games as well.
Sweet.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Welcome to welcome to the show,
Thank
Jeff
you.
and Monterey. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. All right, Taylor, are we ready for hockey talk now?
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's
Fuck
go.
yeah. All right. Well, let's get the unpleasant part out of the way first before we get into hockey, because it has made the rounds in the hockey sphere. NHL comes
Yeah.
out. We kind of already knew something was going to happen with all of the big arguments going on last year regarding Pride Nights and whatnot. But the NHL has finally rolled out that they are no longer allowing players to use Pride tape. We already knew that Pride jerseys were going away, along with really any sort of themed warm up jerseys or that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. But now they've even gone as far as to issue a fine if players use Pride tape. And I would assume that has to carry over to other colors of tape that are other unique non-approved colors of tape. I would assume. I haven't read the
Yeah.
full rule.
I mean, they specifically called out Pride tape, but
Okay.
a lot of the players were talking about. I think it was even McDavid was saying like we can't even use camo, we can't even
Okay.
use. I think it was McDavid again that brought up a good point about like breast cancer awareness,
Yeah.
right? Like they can't even put pink on their sticks. Like I don't know. So as you can tell by my puck collection back here, I got two. One Kraken, one Coyotes Pride puck, so it hits me a little bit, but I think as long as they're consistent with it and they basically say, okay, we're not seeing any, it's black or white,
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Yeah. So you and I have kind of gone over this and talked about it, and I don't, I think I've personally calmed down a little bit since then.
That's good. That's good.
But
And I've calmed down on it too, because at the end of the day, this is a money situation.
oh, 100%.
The bean counters in the NHL sat there and ran the numbers, and they figured that putting this to bed and just banning all of this kind of stuff instead of allowing this argument to persist, because you know what, regardless of what side of the fence you fell on that argument from last year about Pride jerseys and who you're going to support and who you don't like and whatever, regardless of where you fell on that fence, I just don't like. I like hockey. Hockey is an escape from reality. I don't like
Sure.
talking about politics with my hockey. And they probably ran the numbers, and they're like, okay, well, we lost a lot of fans because of this, because politics is getting dragged into our sport, and we just don't want that. So I get it. It sucks that we're losing everything,
Mm-hmm.
because some of that stuff is fun. I'm not necessarily as invested in the Pride stuff as you are, but absolutely have no problem with the nights happening.
Yeah.
Um, but it sucks that you're, like you said, breast cancer awareness night and all that kind of stuff. So
Veterans, man. Yeah, I mean, like everybody deserved to have a little bit of a pizza in the pie.
sure,
But yeah,
I think
it
it's
is what it is.
the lesson. The two lessons I pulled from it is one, Gary Bettman is always going to do the fiscally responsible
Sure.
decision, and number two, this is kind of what we get for not being able to get along with each other.
Yeah, be nice to it's Twitter,
Like we
dude. Twitter is
couldn't.
so toxic,
It
bro.
is, and that's and honestly,
So bad.
businesses need business people in general need to stop making decisions based on feedback on Twitter.
Fuck.
It's just not like Twitter. I understand Twitter has a lot of people on it. We are constantly on Twitter to
Sure.
get the message out of our show. It can be good, but Twitter, social media, whatnot, like it in the grand scheme of things, it only has a small portion of the population that's on this planet, and is not a true reflection of what 100% of people would think. So,
Sure.
for better or for worse. So in this particular case, it just sucks that we couldn't get along. We couldn't get along on this issue. It created a hubbub. Whether it was homophobes out there, saying shitty stuff, or really extreme people on the other side calling people who just didn't want to wear a rainbow flag homophobes. Whatever side of the fence you fell on, it sucks that we could not get along to the point where Gary Bettman's like, yeah, I'm losing money because of this. We're not going to do anything anymore.
Yeah. I think it's unfortunate to see a lot of people who, true blue fans and shit like that.
Yeah.
That on both sides. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, right? Like people that don't really care about losing Pride Night might really care about veterans
Sure.
or breast cancer, right? So I
That's
mean, like we're all losing something,
yeah.
which is unfortunate that it had to get to this point, but
And
um,
that's exactly where I fall in that category of like it's not like a Pride night's going to stop me from going to a game. It's not
sure,
like I'm going to go to a Pride night and be angry that people are where I'm supportive of them. I love that. It's just not, I come from a military family, so military Pride night's it's a cool thing for me. So
right,
that sucks that that's gone, but I also, my family's been affected by breast cancer, so that sucks too. That's gone. Yeah, it sucks that those types of nights are gonna go away
yeah,
because of this one isolated issue where a minority on one side couldn't get along with a minority on the other side.
yep, 100%.
Yeah. All right, that's all we got on that. Any other like hockey news before you want to dig into the start of the season?
Um, Not that I can think of. I am in the market if you're in the Tacoma, Seattle area and need a guy that on your beer league team that like doesn't have to pay dues or something. Like I can skate, so
Perfect.
just let me know. I'm not paying $1,300 fucking dollars, which is what men's league
That's
is around
so
here.
much
So
money.
I ain't doing that shit. So if you want a guy that's just free and you know will score a goal or two every 7 games, you just let me know.
Just need a I think they call them not fillers, but
Fucking benders, dude. That's
well, I mean,
yeah.
we're already there, yeah. No, that's good. Speaking of that area, though, one more plug that we have before we get into the hockey stuff. You and I are going to be seeing each other with our old buddy Kyle Watney
Yep.
next Tuesday. We're just reminding everybody that the Dusty Bender crew is going to be in downtown Seattle for the Kraken home opener against the Colorado Avalanche.
Hell yeah, man. We're
We'll be crashing downtown too.
we're gonna be with a fucking Avs fan though.
He
So
doesn't
like,
he's really on the fence of that. Like he's in the same boat as
all
me.
right.
Like he
Okay,
grew up
I
an Avs
gotcha.
fan. I grew up a Red Wings fan. Like it's hard to completely get away from. You can see. Oh wait, other side. There we go. Right there. You can see my Red
Yeah.
Wings stuff.
Well,
So
fuck,
like
I'm wearing a Duck shirt today, so
there you go. There you go. So I
I'm with you.
grew up. It's you can't just like cut that team out for the rest of your life. But we all supportive of the Kraken. And honestly, I was kind of giving him shit because I was like, "What jersey are you gonna wear?" He's like, "Might just be neutral." I'm like, "You can't be neutral."
Dude, you can't be the guy that wears like a fucking Penguins jersey to a Avs Kraken game, bro. Come on.
I'll bring my USA jersey.
There you go.
That
I
that's
gotta.
the that's the equivalent of I just want everyone to have fun.
I love everyone here. Um, Yeah, I have some random ones too. Like I got a Marty St. Louis Tampa jersey.
Oh, that's a good
So
one.
I've pulled that one out before at Yotes games where it doesn't fucking matter. I paid $20 for lower bowl.
Right.
You know,
Oh, I've
I'll
got
wear whatever jersey I want.
there. I wish there were more opportunities where I could wear some of my sick, unique jerseys that make no sense whatsoever. I used to have a Guinness one. Ooh, that Guinness jersey was sick.
That's sick.
It was. It had like the toucan. You know, like the Guinness toucan that makes no sense.
Like the bird.
Yeah, yeah. Guinness's like unofficial mascot is like a toucan.
Oh, I
I
was
swear, I'm
joking, but
not.
it
I'm not
really
joking
is.
about this. I swear. I
Oh
swear.
my
Look it up.
god.
Look
All
it up.
right.
It's like a toucan.
I was thinking like 2 beer cans, but you're saying
No, I
it's a
have.
fucking bird.
I have absolutely no idea why. I know nothing about the history behind it, but it is like it's their thing. Like again, like a toucan with a Guinness.
Guinness toucan. What the fuck,
Dude, it's a thing. I swear.
What in the world? He's got a beer on his beak?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah. He's super cool. I've almost thought about like
Dope.
I was thinking about for one of my like if I ever get a dumb tattoo, I was thinking about getting the Guinness toucan.
Dude, I would get that with you. Are we doing that
Perfect.
first game?
All
This
right,
is sick as fuck, dude.
all right. If you and I are getting it, then Watney's already getting roped in. So if he listens to this Tuesday,
Tattoo, bub.
Tuesdays we're getting the tattoo of the Guinness toucan. So
There you go.
here we go.
Tuesday toucans.
I
There you go,
like
man.
that. I like that. That's pretty good. That would be a good Monterey hub. Take note. Tuesday toucans.
Two cans for the
Toucan
price
Tuesday.
of one.
Whoa.
Fuck, man. We should probably just buy a bar.
Which I think so. I really do.
think so.
I think that we should. That's probably our calling,
Yeah.
and we can record our podcast out of it.
Play everything but hockey at it just to be ironic.
That would be that. God, that would be too ironic. That would be like that
It's too
South.
much, okay.
That's like that South Park like Sarcastable.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is such a hockey bar.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sounds good. All right, without further ado, let's jump on into some hockey because, folks, we are back, and
Sure are.
we're only 3 days into the season, and we've got some crazy shit to talk about. Honestly,
It's insanity.
I think everybody, like even the players, were just like building up. They were just getting edged. You know, like it felt like didn't it feel like this was like the longest preseason we've had?
Someone else said that, and no, it didn't.
Really?
It really didn't feel that bad to me.
To me, it felt so like they had 5. Why are we playing 5 preseason games? That's so many.
Dude,
That's too many games.
That's not that bad.
It's so bad.
You have to. I mean, teams have to be able to. It's
3 games.
long.
3 games.
No, that's
3
not
games.
enough time. That's not enough time.
Yep.
No.
Yep, absolutely.
No.
But
that's
between training camp and 3 tune-up games, you know exactly who your opening night roster is.
The only way I would agree to 3 games is if, like what they do in the NFL, they'll do joint practices, right? So you're essentially, you have the opportunity to do a scrimmage against the other team, right? So like Anaheim would do a joint practice with LA, and then but the hockey rink's too small to do something like that.
Aren't those like the split game things? Split roster games?
No, not really. I think they pretty much treat them like just a scrimmage, right? So, I don't know a ton of football and stuff, but I mean, like Seahawks would go scrimmage the Rams, and it doesn't technically count towards preseason. They're doing some drills and looking at some guys, but then I think they scrimmage at the end, kind of shit.
Okay.
So I mean, like that 3 games just isn't quite enough to see guys in actual game action, man.
I
don't know if it's enough.
My point is that by the time camp is over, like coaches already have a decent idea who's on the roster, and then preseason games, like by the 4th and 5th one, you're basically just like calling up guys that aren't going to make the roster so they can tell their mom that I wore my pro team's jersey before I got sent back to the fucking AHL.
Yeah, but I think some teams even played like 7, dude.
That's too many.
That's fine. I'm okay with that being too many. But I mean, like the first 2 are basically okay. We saw these guys in training camp. What do they look like in a game setting? okay, this guy clearly needs to go down, right? He was hungover and looked like shit. And then you kind of start to sprinkle in those guys. So I think 405 is fine, dude. I mean, that's a week and a half.
All right, I still disagree with you. I think 3 is enough, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean that's why you'll never be a coach, bro.
That's not true. It's not
That's
true.
not the only
Actually, I coached the University of Idaho Vandals hockey team to their only Pulaski in the last 10 years. So,
Oh, that's not true. And you want to know why I know that?
how do you know that?
Because there was Pulaski's before you even got there, dude.
Bro,
So
we're old. I was the coach for 4. Think about it. I was the coach for. So we never won it when I was there. So that's 4 years. And then we won it once during the 4 years that I coached. So that's 8 years. And then it's been definitely 2 years since that. So 10 years.
No, it was.
You went to college for like 8 years, right?
Well, yeah. I got my doctorate in beer studies.
Like if you said you won the Pulaski your freshman year, that doesn't mean anything to me. I wasn't there yet.
You weren't even alive yet. Dude.
No,
you were barely born.
No. Yeah. For those who are very confused, University of Idaho college hockey used to play a rivalry game with Boise State, and the trophy was a Pulaski, like the firefighting tool. Yeah, axe. Right? Yeah. So in any case, so that was my big accomplishment as a coach.
There you go. I got kicked out of. I probably coached like 4 games when my wrist was all fucked up, and I got kicked out of 2 of them.
I still remember that thrift store suit you bought literally before the game. I
had it for a long time, man. It was like mustard yellow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was great.
God, I remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah, good times. All right, talking about actual hockey players that know how to actually do it. Yeah. So let's start with we're just going to hit highlights. We're not going to go game by game necessarily. We're just going to talk about interesting stuff and what we've kind of seen so far going into it's still early. Everything. I think that's a good preface here. We're 1 to 2 games in. Nobody needs to panic. Okay? Nobody needs to everything that we say right now, whether it be good or bad, take it with a grain of salt. Like this is, I mean, shit, how many years in a row have we seen like Buffalo go, 10-4 and then immediately shit the bed afterward?
Sure.
So take it all with a grain of salt. Don't necessarily freak out. Or if you're the Vancouver Canucks, you're like, we're fucking going to the Cup.
Yeah, pretty sure they're winning the Cup, right?
Yeah, because we just kicked the shit out of fucking shit out of them, the Oilers, and now we're.
Yeah, I mean, but Vancouver will decide to go fucking lose to the Sharks next game or something, right? So.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All right, so Tuesday night, I actually, because of just how these games are staggered out, which, and this can kind of talk about our talk about their coverage too. Mm-hmm. Like all the games were on ESPN, so I didn't have to, give my computer the digital version of AIDS by looking up
syphilis.
Yeah, it's syphilis of going onto the dark web to find streams. I was able to see that games were staggered. Like when one began, the only thing that fucked it up was the Golden Knights Cup ceremony, and as annoying as it was to have the game start 50 minutes after it was supposed to, I get it. It's your cup, you're bragging, fine. But I love the staggered start. I was able to watch everything from basically first to last, and the coverage was fine.
I did not. This is just me being selfish on the West Coast. I did not like the Nashville Lightning game being so fucking early in the day, man.
I don't mind it.
That's the first game of the year. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I instantly have to watch the replay, right? Like I can't watch that shit at work.
That's fair.
What the fuck are you thinking?
But East Coast fans are going to appreciate that, and the majority of the fan bases for those teams are over there.
They can fuck off.
That's what they.
Them. It's about me.
And that's what they say about us when we, we were getting pissy when the Kraken Golden Knights game was starting at 8:10 but for them it was starting at like fucking midnight.
Oh, that does suck. Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword. I get it. I don't, and then I don't think that there's a right answer. I don't think you can make everybody happy. In fact, the game that drew the most people was the Blackhawks Penguins game.
Because everyone could watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was right in that sweet spot. So,
1.4. I think I saw like 1.4 million.
Best,
something like that.
Like the greatest opening night hockey game for ESPN ever.
Yeah.
Something like that. So a lot of people tuned into it. And I think also, Chicago and Pittsburgh have two big bandwagon fan bases. Sure. That wasn't an insult. It's just those teams have been successful in the last 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. They've got large fan bases. Everybody wanted to see Bedard versus Crosby because it's been marketed as like, them passing in the night kind of thing.
Sure.
Handing off the torch. Sid the Kid to Bedard I almost called him Bedard the Bastard, and then I immediately thought of like Game of Thrones.
You ever seen or you ever listened to the podcast Behind the Bastards?
No.
Oh, you would like it. It's got a lot of history in it. Sorry, that's way off topic, but you would like it.
Okay.
It's got some comedy to it. Anyways, yes.
Yeah. First game of the day, the Preds Lightning. I watched this game almost front to back from at Monterey, and I fucking was.
You were fucking.
Yeah. How do I? It's in short. The Lightning are still good. Goaltending could be a problem on a long-term scale. Like the only reason that game was close is because Vasilevsky's not in the goal.
Sure.
But the Preds look solid. They held their own. It wasn't like, oh, Lightning are just kicking the shit out of the Predators from start to finish. Ryan O'Reilly looks solid.
Yeah. I mean, playing with Forsberg definitely helps. Those guys, those two can click a little bit. That's a decent little two.
Yeah. And then the big surprise from that night was 2 goals from Paul.
Nick Paul.
Yeah, Nick Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little surprise for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They somehow find a way to keep getting depth.
It's crazy. It's good coaching.
Yeah. Yossi Soros is a fucking beast.
Yeah, it's tough to look at 5 goals, but
I know
it's still fucking good, man.
Well, he just got a shutout tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, and here's a quick shout out. We'll move on, but Predators have 3 goals in back-to-back games, and I was not feeling that offense. But I mean, it's 2 games, but I mean, they're gonna be a little bit of a problem. I think them and Coyotes are gonna be a little bit of a problem for some people, especially early in the season. So
that's a great comparison. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna be they're gonna be that little itch. You know what I mean? They're gonna they're gonna come in and they're you might beat them 3-2, but you're not going to feel super good about that win.
No,
right?
You're going to be like, okay, they played us pretty hard. Like we had to work harder from that than we thought we were going to have to.
Yeah, this team should be dead fucking last, right? And they just played us good, and I think they're going to do that all year.
Yep.
So
I agree. Good news. Hope for the Preds fans.
Yeah, big time.
Definitely. All right, the big marquee fucking thing. Connor Bedard did stuff.
Some stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did a couple things.
Yeah. There was also a hockey game, but mostly Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Like some other people skated and some other people scored goals, but Connor Bedard was on the ice.
Sure.
He did play, and yeah.
I was asked by my wife how old he is.
12.
That is the exact age that she guessed.
Uh-huh.
She was like, they can't be 12 years old playing, right? And I was like, fuck no.
No.
But he looks 12, dude.
He does.
Looks fucking 12.
A Chicago Blackhawks friend of mine was trying to tell me that like they reported him at camp as like 5'10", 185. And I'm like, someone is lying through their fucking teeth.
Dude, I am 5 like 9.5, and so
that's like shit.
Yeah, I'll go back with him.
That's shit that's no way. That's exactly what I put on my fucking dating profile.
Sure, yeah, I'm 6'2" on mine, but
no, not being any sort of, you're just not hiding it, just going straight for it.
Yeah, well, that's what I put on my. There's a new like golf buddy Tinder right now, so that's what I put on there.
You need to
6'2", I'm a 0. I'm a scratch golfer. But I
gotcha.
show up and it's just my fat little short ass, and I suck. But yeah, I mean, the only thing you and I kind of talked about it. It's his first game, right? First game against his boyhood hero, right? Super cool little setup. Little cringy what they did at the beginning, like, oh, welcome to your first NHL game, and Crosby, welcome back, or so whatever the fuck he said. But that was a little cringy, but it's like, whatever, dude. I mean, it was Macaulay. What? No, I don't remember.
No, the other one.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because Macaulay was in Vegas.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely it was. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna try to ham it up a little bit, but overall, I mean, Pens are up 2-rip, and the Blackhawks fourth line might be an actual issue for some folks.
Yeah, so the actual hockey side of it, I mean, Bedard played. I kind of wrapped it up as his highs were highs and his lows were lows.
Sure.
Like the guy can gain the zone. Like, he's got speed. Like, he spends no time in the neutral zone. Like, if he's in the defensive zone, he is breaking through that defense. He doesn't even look for a pass. Like, he's just like, I'm gonna get this puck in the offensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a burns through, and because he can do it every time. Like, he makes zone entries like it's nothing.
Sure.
Gets in the zone. I loved his hands were great. Stick handling was awesome. Not necessarily the best shots, but definitely seemed in control. And even when he was starting to get bodied up quite a bit, like Achari, famously, Achari just put him on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Popped right back up. Didn't sit there on the ice and be like, meh. Just got right. Famously, Crosby used to do that quite a bit. So,
sure.
Not anymore, but used to. Bedard just popped right back up, got back into the play. Got to respect it, and he did get his first point.
Yep.
So there's that. And not to mention a win in his first. And Bedard's a good enough dude to care more about how the team does than how he does.
I think
so I'm sure he's pretty stoked that he won his first NHL game against his childhood hero. That's probably pretty cool. As far as talking about those teams, I don't know if this is more of a reflection on like the Hawks being good this year than should I be worried about the Pens?
I think it's early.
Okay.
I always give teams, let's check back in at 10 games, right?
Okay.
I'm not very concerned with the first 10 games. I think if you go 500, you can be your identity that we saw at the beginning of the year. The other one that's funny, and they kept bringing it up, your boy Peter Mrazek, man, he had a good fucking game in this game.
He did have a good game.
Yeah, it's solid.
Talk to any Red Wings fan, man. This is the frustrating part, Mrazek, is he can pull one of these games out of his ass, and you're like, oh my god, and then the next game he's Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
sure,
Mrazek is definitely, God, he's so frustrating to watch because he does have games like that. So in any case, no, it was good. You're getting Donato, man. Donato is thriving.
Right.
Looking real great on that wing with Bedard. So
it's a little precursor to our potential fantasy talk, but
yeah, we'll get there in a second. Well, no, fuck it, let's talk about it. Donato is, so in the Dusty Bender League, it's fairly deep, 12 teams, but in the fantasy league that we're in, the Hockey Podcast Network, it's a deep fucking league.
20 teams, yeah.
20 teams. Like, to put it in perspective, we had Forrester on our bench. We started
Tyson Forrester,
who got cut tonight. He didn't even play. So it's real slim pickings there. But Donato is. I think he's first line power play too, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it's Chicago. You got to expect a rough plus minus, but yeah, that's a pretty cush position. He's going to be, especially with Taylor Hall down, he's guaranteed to be staying in that spot.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I like that. All right. And then to finish off the opening night of hockey, the Seattle Kraken take on the Vegas Golden Knights, defending Stanley Cup champs. God, the whole night, it's sitting there watching the cup banners. Like, if you're a Vegas Golden Knights fan, I'm sure you absolutely loved the banner raising ceremony, and it was cool. And as a former, no, not former, I still hold a torch for the Golden Knights, but as somebody who doesn't necessarily follow the Golden Knights as much as I used to, there was a part of me that's like, oh, good for Vegas. I love that. Like, good for them. But man, maybe I shouldn't even be angry at Vegas. I should be angry at the fucking NHL or ESPN, whoever sets these start times. When I jump on at 7:30, if you say the game starts at 7:30, drop the puck at 7:30. If you're saying like, oh, coverage starts at 7:30, then just make that clear. Say the coverage starts at 7:30, because I don't think we had a puck drop in that game until at least 8:10, 8:15. And that was, I mean, I'm already, that's an extra beer or two that I did not plan on drinking, because the game is going on too long after that. So in any case, that ceremony goes on way too fucking long. And then finally the game starts. Kraken come out just fucking guns blazing. Absolutely great start. And then I jinxed. I think this is my fault. I was at the hub.
Probably.
I was at the hub and I said, God, Vegas hasn't even gotten a fucking shot on goal. And then boom, first shot.
God damn it.
First shot. Everybody in the bar gives me shit, throws stuff at me, calls me names. It was all my fault.
You deserved that. I mean, you can't even argue that. Yeah,
I did. I took my lumps. So, yeah, it wasn't. So in recap, this game, symptom of things to come, man. We're seeing repeats of the goal of the Kraken happening again. We've got, in this game, Grubauer could have played a little better in my opinion, but he did have some amazing saves. Definitely was not by far not the worst player on the team that night. Nope. You've got a defense that just looks right. They're just blown coverages. They're getting beat. I counted at least 3 times where it was a beer league special where Vegas guys are splitting the D and going in on breakaways, or at least evened up 2-on-2s where you've got 4 guys in a line. That just shouldn't be happening. You got to have guys that are actually going to play defense and cover their positions. The offense, I did like the sustained pressure they had, but boy, does this team have a problem with finishing. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're all Swedish.
It's just a team of passers. It's a team of playmakers. And this, this is a broken record. We've been talking about this all last year. These were problems that they were having last year, and they're continuing to have problems now. This team lives and dies by their depth. And unfortunately, they just don't have any triggermen other than McCann. I think I said it in our tweet after the game. The only guys that I saw that were actually playing with enthusiasm, speed, and weren't making horrible mistakes were Turbo, who unfortunately got hit.
We made a big mistake.
Yeah. Turbo made a huge mistake, but he was trying. Fucking Jared McCann, obviously, because he gets our only goal. Mm-hmm. And not to be biased, but Kyler Yamamoto.
Yeah, Yamo looked good.
So much so that he got promoted to the first power play in this next game.
Yeah.
So, other than that, everybody else seems slow. Burakovsky just looks like he's still kind of get back into game shape. Eli Tolvanen, it looks like he's got the jitters. Just not a good look for the Kraken. And it obviously it's not going to help when Vegas is already a fucking juggernaut, and they're feeling it after that banner ceremony. Like, just a bad situation to lay an egg.
Yeah, it just Vegas has teams' numbers in that fucking division, I think. So they gotta find a way against that team. I agree with all your points. I think it's funny because 2 of the guys that I hammered on the most last year actually didn't play that bad. So Jamie Alexiak, actually, I texted you that. I said I'll never say this again probably in my fucking life, but he didn't play that bad in game number 1. I saw him moving his fucking head when he was in front of Grubauer, right? Looking for a fucking guy instead of just fucking staring at the puck and it's a backdoor pass.
Yeah, tell me about that third line D though, Taylor.
Third line looked bad. They looked like they were together back in the day, and they're trying to run it back, and they're both just old as fuck, and they don't remember how to play. But I thought Grubauer had some good saves. I think he's, he's gonna get every opportunity to be the guy. So
none of them were fully his fault. I would say none of them were full. The first goal was definitely not on him. That was a tic-tac-toe defensive breakdown, 100%.
Yeah.
Second goal was, it's Tanev has a bad screw up. The wires crossed. He made a mistake. Marchessault, incredible skill play, but Grubauer also did get caught sleeping a little bit. Regardless of who has the puck, if you're in the defensive zone, it's goalie 101 that you track the puck and you follow it along just in case shit like that happens.
Sure.
And Grubauer got caught, staring up at the blue line. So, not a great look, but definitely not his fault. Third one, just a absolute tee off from a just blown coverage from the D. I think Grub would like to have that one back, but his glove is pretty weak. So that's the way it goes.
And I don't want to spend too much time on this game, so we can touch on the other Kraken game real quick.
Yep.
I think he looked good tonight. 3-0 loss, but it was. He put up numbers that you want him to put up. He technically only let in 2 goals, and his offense couldn't get anything for him. So.
Yep.
They're a little concerning right now. I think they've got to shake a little bit of the rust off, and hopefully it doesn't take them more than fucking 10 games to do it, or they're already out. I mean, Vancouver's hot as fuck, So.
God, I know, yeah.
You never know.
The Preds game tonight. To jump a little forward and just take care of the Kraken right now.
Sure.
That Preds game tonight was just bad. They looked lethargic. Grubauer was by far their best player. I like the jam from Yamo again, but the power play is something's got to give, man. You can't. There was the last power play of the game I got to watch tonight. They literally spent the entire power play in the Pred zone. They were running an umbrella and just passing into the top of the umbrella the whole time, just back and forth, and then throwing it into shin pads. Recovering, recoiling, passing it back and forth, throwing it into shin pads. You got to make moves. You got to. You can't just sit there and try to find openings, or they're going to shut that down every time.
Yeah,
and also, love Yamo on the first power play. Don't love Yamo in the bumper spot.
No, he's a corner guy. Put him in the corner. There's a guy up top. Right, and then you have your bumper. I don't know, I don't know what kind of decisions they're making. It's basic ass shit, man. I don't know if it's the same coach running the power play from last year. I fucking hope it's not.
I haven't heard anything about him going anywhere. So, but then again, I couldn't name it to you. I guess I could Google that, huh?
Look, being the top scoring 5-on-5 team from last year, yeah, that's great, right? You hit 100 points, that's amazing, right? If you want to take that next step in a season where, Calgary and Vancouver had bad seasons last year, they could easily come back through, right? I mean, not specifically saying those two teams, but they could easily, there could be any teams in there that just kind of just surprise everybody. You got to get the power play going. You can't have the man advantage be a weakness of your team. It can't be a setback for your team, and you expect to score as many 5-on-5 goals. I mean, you can't. There's a reason that we have penalties and power plays in this league, right? You need to capitalize on them, and they got work to do.
No, and it's the problem. And the problem is that they were able to get away with it last year because our 5-on-5 numbers were so good,
right?
But when you're not scoring at 5-on-5, you have to capitalize on the special teams. And if you're not doing that, then you're going to be losing hockey games. And after tonight, the Kraken are 0-2 with 1 goal in 2 games.
Yeah, sad. And realistically, Vegas, yes, that's a good team. Just came off, that's a good team.
Should have been closer though, but yes.
Yes, but Nashville, I'm not saying Nashville is. Nashville's played 2 pretty decent games to start the season. That's a game you need to be competitive with.
You need to win that game.
You need to win, but I think in general in the beginning of the year, it has to be competitive, and they didn't. Nashville outshot them. It wasn't even.
No, it wasn't. There was no
uninterested,
effort.
Right? Uninterested from the Kraken. So they got some work to do there.
Yep, I couldn't agree, and I couldn't agree more. And I don't necessarily know what the answer is. All right, jumping on to Wednesday games.
Cool.
Folks, we won't hit on everything like that, but like the highlights of it. First off, we got to talk about the biggest one. Brock Besser, 4-goal night with the Canucks.
Fucking stud, man.
and them just absolutely wiping the floor with the Edmonton Oilers.
McDavid was still the first star, though.
That is, I don't understand. I saw that too, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I don't know if that's doctored, but I saw that tweet and I was like,
has to be doctored.
It would be, dude. It would
has to be doctored. There's no fucking way that he was first star of that game. He scored one fucking goal.
Oh, I love it.
No, he had an assist.
Yeah, he didn't even have a goal. He had a fucking assist.
Yeah, he had an assist. Leon scored the one goal.
Shit,
yeah, but it's so Brock Besser puts up 4 goals. Incredible. Probably in my opinion, he's looking for a trade, not to actually be good on the team. But
no, there's 3 stars. We're all Canucks. So
okay,
so it was definitely doctored. But I was laughing pretty good at it.
That was a good deep fake. Elias Pettersson, absolute fucking stud.
Beauty.
Again, if your team is bad right now, don't panic. If you're a Vancouver fan, please enjoy this. I know that we all are, because everybody's picking the Oilers to win, and there's a lot of Oilers haters out there. You're looking at a couple of them to a mild degree. Hate Toronto more, but you're looking at a couple of them that likes to see really angry Oilers fans get all red-faced. So definitely enjoy this. But as Han Solo once said, don't get penisy.
Quick touch on Vancouver. So if you are a Vancouver fan, I want to just go through their team real quick.
Hit me.
No Ekman Larson. So that looks nice. Right?
Yep.
No Bull Hovrat. Right. So maybe the changing of the guard is a good thing.
That is.
And Demko healthy. Right. And so maybe I think they might. They're gonna have. There's a potential for a better season. But yeah, I mean, you can't expect to walk Edmonton 8-1 and then just walk the rest of the fucking league. Use it, run on it, have a good start. This is the time. Like if you're hot, every team gets a hot streak throughout the year, unless you're the Ducks. Sure.
Your hot streak is a win. So
1-7, please.
We're on a 1-game winning streak.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. We're on a goal streak. We've scored in the last 3 games.
Oh, we only let in 3 last game. That's pretty good, guys.
That's a streak, yeah.
Pretty good.
Jesus Christ. So no, it's if your team gets streaky, if it's early in the year, it's good to take advantage of it, because when you start playing 500 hockey down the end of the stretch, that's where these games come in handy.
Sure.
So absolutely, this is great. Celebrate it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
The Avs and the Kings, I don't really care.
Sure. All right, move on.
I don't really care. Flames and Jets. This game was interesting in the sense that, we kind of were both these teams were like, oh, they could be really good or trash.
Or really shitty. Yeah.
And I think what I saw from this game is that they're both going to try to score a lot of goals and try to kind of ignore some defensive lapses.
I think
early.
They both have tendies that they probably can do that occasionally, but you're not gonna win a ton of games if you're just like, hey, fuck Markstrom and Hellebuck. They can go, suck wind somewhere else. You're not gonna be able to win a ton.
Sure. I'll say I think based on the little of this game that I did watch, it does seem like Calgary has a bit more pep in their step. So the anti-Daryl Sutter effect is in full effect here.
Funny how that works.
Perhaps. So we'll see how that goes. Mangiapane picks up 2 goals and an assist. I like him getting moved up to that first line there. At least that's what I think that happened based on box scores that I saw.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, again, early, hard to tell one way or the other, but it gives me hope for the Flames. I think that they might actually have a bounce back season.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Connor Bedard scoring. Not the game. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, we don't actually care about wins and losses. We only care about
we don't care. Boston won, but that's not important.
Yeah, that's not.
Connor McDavid scored his first goal of the year. Tell me a little bit about, break this down, shot for shot, scene by scene, because this is the most important thing that has happened in hockey so far.
100%. Nothing else matters. Connor Bedard scored his first goal.
Yes.
I think what's really cute about it is he held up with the tape on the side, and it's like the first time I've seen him smile since he got into the NHL. He was kind of like, I scored,
Right.
Yeah, just a good wraparound. He shows the wheels, man. What I like, this is something I could never do.
Pops.
He's got those quick little steps, and what I love about watching him, it has a little bit to do with the goal, but I could never, what differentiates you and me and any beer leaguer and anyone that's really listening to this, compared to these guys, that puck is just always fucking moving, and it's on a fucking string, right? They're holding onto it, but I mean, their fucking hands are doing this shit the whole fucking time, whereas like you and me are like, I'm chopping this fucker around and make like someone get open,
Or we're just pushing it, just
pushing it with us in with one hand, because the other one's tucked
push
in.
It forward like skating. This the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. Good goal from him. I think in general, right, you could see that they were a little tired, right? So they went back to back to start the season. Brad Marchand and crew fucking knew that they were back to back, so they were giving it to him a little bit. But realistically, Blackhawks winning 4-2, right? And then losing 3-1 to Boston.
Not a big deal.
Man. Yeah,
not a big deal. I was gonna say I wasn't very impressed with Boston. They looked looked a
little old.
Looked a little old. They looked a little lacking of talent.
Mm-hmm.
So and some random guy named T. Frederick scored.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So that's good for old Frederick.
What's a name?
Yeah. I did enjoy the momentary freak out by Maple Leafs fans when the Canadiens were beating them 3-0. That was pretty great. The city of Toronto was on the verge of another riot.
Canadians like to do that to Toronto.
Oh, they do. I love.
They like to make it a little interesting, dude.
The two most annoying Canadian fan bases.
Sure.
Going at it head to head. So I just love to sit back and watch the world burn when this kind of stuff happens.
Oh, mine goes Toronto, Edmonton, then Montreal, bro. So.
Oh, really? Oh no, for it's because that's recency bias.
Sure.
Remember when Canadians were actually respectable? Remember when they made it to the Stanley Cup final and we were like, "Oh, we're back, baby, we're back!" Like this team's for real. All right, it's not just Carey Price. This is a 4 lines team.
The window just opened, baby.
Has nothing to do with Carey Price stopping 45 shots a night.
Yeah, no, it's a good game. I mean, Austin Matthews is a fucking stud, though, right? What a good pickup by the DB Hockey Potters fantasy team.
Agreed. Yeah, Shout out to the DB Potters.
Yeah, good first pick by you. I think we debated between Austin Matthews and McKinnon, and McKinnon's going to have a fucking season.
Pasta even had an honorable mention, but
Pasta had an honorable mention in there, but I think it really did come down to those two, right? But Austin Matthews could put up 70 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. He's just a fucking stud. So
yes.
Really, really a good game though, and I actually like Montreal. I didn't like fantasy wise. I didn't like our guy, Dickweed McGee.
Old Dickweed McGee.
Mm-hmm. Matheson played good, but I mean,
you're talking about Gooley?
Yeah, Caden Gooley. We do have Caden Gooley as an insurance policy on Mike Matheson on our fantasy team, but yeah, I think Montreal played a good game. It's funny because as bad as everyone thinks the Canadiens are going to be, these are the kind of games that they're going to play because they actually do have some younger, spunkier forwards and no goaltending, right? So, but playing the Maple Leafs like a 6-5 game is like totally what I see. Every single game between these two going this year, right? Like we expect this, right?
Right.
So good game. I think one of the better ones of the night, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last but not least, the Hurricanes and Senators. Senators get their doors blown off. The score suggests that this game was kind of close. It was not.
Mm-hmm.
Who could have seen this coming?
I know. I know. I got tricked into thinking that Corpusalo was going to be a great pickup for the fantasy team just
I,
through Twitter, but I still think he will. But Hurricanes are a juggernaut, bro. I mean,
that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
This was a good first
That's
game
true.
tester for the Senators, and it was just like, oh, there's two different levels here.
Yeah, that's
There's two
fair.
different level
They
teams.
got outshot. To me, they got outplayed. I watched a little bit of this game because I was just curious about it. The Canes are just a fun. If there's ever like games going on where our teams aren't playing, if I see the Canes playing, I usually jump over it because they're just fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Canes hockey is always fun to watch. So yeah, I don't mind that. I wouldn't be worried in either case. But yeah, Hurricanes look really fun. I'm giving the Ottawa Senators a bit of shit, but it was more of a case of like the Canes just look really fucking good.
What's their fucking hashtag though? The Hurricanes hashtag is bad, dude.
I don't know.
It's like cause cane cause. I don't know. It's fucking garbage though. It's almost as
Fucking
bad as the Ducks one. The Ducks ones fly together or something.
fly together. Yeah, that's
That
really
one's
bad.
so bad.
Yeah, some of the I love how like a lot of them are like let's or no, it's like go Oilers go or something like that.
Sure.
Like a lot of them are that, but then like some teams are like the Red Wings are LGR, let's go Red Wings.
Yeah.
Also okay. C Kraken is a little annoying to me.
Yeah.
I wish they would just go
stinky.
Kraken, but maybe it was already taken. Who knows?
Sure.
In any case. All right, moving on. Last night or tonight, so to speak, as we record this for Thursday, 7 games on the lineup. I spent most of the night watching the Red Wings Devils game. I felt that since it was there first, I would watch them over the Preds. Plus, I figured the Kraken Preds game would be probably a little low event hockey. So,
Sure.
and I was right. I called that. I called that correctly. But I was able to jump around a little bit as well for all of this. So, I'll speak a little bit on the Red Wings game. The Wings, the good news, the offense looks good. Bad news, Jeff Petrie should never play another game of professional hockey ever.
He's so good, Chance.
He is a lumbering oaf. There are rooted trees in front of my apartment complex that move faster than him.
God damn, that's pretty slow.
That's yeah, it's not Devil. Okay, yeah. So rapid fire. Petrie's terrible. When Sider and Wallman are not on the ice, the defense is not good. Definitely need to bring in some young guys from the AHL that are ready. Not sure how Hall beat out Olli Mata to make the roster tonight. A lot of question marks there. DeBrincat's probably going to score 40 goals this year. Guys,
he's so good.
He's so good. Larkin got robbed a couple times. As far as the Devils go, if I'm a Devils fan, I'm not worried at all that I was outshot by the Red Wings tonight. The Red Wings strategy coming into this was throw everything on net. Vanacek did make a few good saves. In fact, God, he just absolutely robbed Larkin on one of them. He had a hell of a game. Vanacek's good. I know that might be shades because Vanacek was like this last year where he played really good and then didn't play. So he'd have stretches where he played really well. But God, with Jack Hughes leading did you watch that fucking his first goal?
Oh yeah, he's a fucking stud. Dude.
That was offensive. How good that goal. Like he's like, oh, Husso's gonna turn the back of his head to me. I'm just gonna aim for that and score.
Just fire it. Oh,
yeah,
he's ridiculous, dude.
That's just fucking dumb.
It's funny. It's funny to me, like following the Ducks, right? They always compare. Oh, Trevor Zegras is never going to be Jack. No, he's not going to be Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes is a fucking beast. There's a reason that kid was taken first overall, and everyone else followed behind him.
Yep.
Right. The kid is super good. Right. You can't compare a lot of the players in that draft class because. You're just gonna look like an idiot, but yeah, it's 2 goals tonight. Like welcome to the 23-24 season. Like he's stupid good, man. And
so good.
He's what 23, 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like man. We're gonna get another 10 to 15 years of this kid.
Yeah,
that's insanity.
Yep, it's unreal.
He's only gonna get better. It's crazy.
Yeah, their Devils are gonna be good this year. If there's anything that I could pull from that would be I mean, I think maybe the Devils are going to have to lean on their special teams to bail them out a little bit.
Sure.
But they've got the pieces to do it, so it's not the end of the world. And from a Red Wings fan perspective, I'm not worried too much about the Red Wings, unless they don't make the changes necessary to fix the problems, which
I want to see,
which they might not, because those terrible
1.
defensemen are signed to certain contracts. So
It's game 1,
Yep, we'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to see Raymond up the lineup a little bit more, just because I like his skill set. And
Raymond,
I think sophomore was a fluke. I think he's
Raymond down on the second line doesn't make any sense.
It's bizarre to me,
Spronger even needs to move up.
Agreed.
Sprong had a hell of a game. He scored the first goal on a completely grinder dumb goal, but he was in the right place at the right time, and he was grinding. So nothing wrong with that. I like Sprong. I think he needs to be higher up in the lineup.
Missing Spronger and Donato, man.
Boy, the Kraken are definitely doing that.
All right, we won't hold on to that too long.
I think those guys were underappreciated.
Yeah.
All right. Rangers, Sabres. Devin Levi gets absolutely shelled by the impressive New York Rangers and Artemi Panarin's sporty new haircut.
Yeah.
Coming out of it like he's Britney Spears in a fucking rehab.
Yeah, it's fucking Artemi, bitch. It sure as shit was. Dude, it scared me, man. I saw that picture of him, and I swear to God, I saw something on Twitter like when he did it. But seeing him on the absolutely garbage NHL app, if don't even get me started on the new NHL app.
It's so trash. They're like, hey, the NHL, the season starts in a week. Let's go live with it now, even though it's totally untested.
Boom! It's terrible. Everyone hates it. Perfect. We love this. Let's throw more board ads on there. God, it's so bad.
Hey, dude, do you want to get to your main screen that tells you absolutely nothing going on tonight?
What the fuck, right?
That's so dumb.
What is stupid?
Why? Who would think this is a good idea?
It's, you know what it is? It's all right. Sorry, Gen Zers. It's a Gen Z social media. Oh, they want to get there. They want to scroll. They want to see the video. God. Fuck that, dude. I want to see my scores.
Yeah.
I also probably want to see the team that I'm coming here to fucking see.
I downloaded the ESPN app. I think I might delete the NHL app.
Oh, I have ESPN. Yeah, I've had the ESPN.
Yeah, the ESPN app is actually, like, as much as the love-hate relationship as we have with their fantasy app, the ESPN app is professional and gives me exactly what I want.
Yeah. They'll do the score and maybe like a little video and then like news underneath it. Like, dude, what? It's fucking great. Instead of just Connor Bedard's goal. It's like, dude, that was like, what is that, yesterday?
I think it's like they're trying to echo, like, yeah, so this is the homepage. Like, it's not even like, I don't want that.
It's terrible. It's so bad. It's so
and everything's clunky. The players aren't, the goal people aren't updating. Like, it's hard to find information. It's just bad.
But what should we expect, dude? Come on.
Yeah, it is.
Jumpin' Jack Flash. Okay, cool. What were the scores? Must watch.
What did he do?
Shuts out Panthers. Like, dude, okay, I understand that, but what the fuck?
Right.
Dude?
I want to see the fucking, yeah, it's just.
Oh, I hate it. You know what the other thing I hate? I'm sorry, I gotta go off on this shit.
Hit me with it.
Your little, okay, there was a goal. Cool.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Hit Panarin one more time. So there's a goal, right? And it just shows the goal scorer. We used to be able to get a little button that would show the goal scorer, and then right below it would show the assists, and it would also have a little fucking play button that you could click on just the button, and it would pull up the video. Like, how did we fucking degrade?
There was nothing wrong.
Like, what do we do?
We fight.
Oh, like, I hate it.
It was like 3 years because we had that really old shitty one for a long time.
Sure.
And everybody like they got mad. They got away from it because it was still bad, but at least we got used to it. And then they switched to this one that was like all completely designed around your favorite teams.
Right.
Which was almost kind of annoying in the sense of like I couldn't look at the league in whole. I had to always like see my if I wanted to see just general scores, I had to like not go over it because it always took me to the Red Wings or the Kraken or whomever.
Mine was always like, oh, the Ducks lost again.
Right. So but that's okay because that is the score I want to see first. So that was acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, like, I don't. It's just the random news feed, and I don't even want to fuck it. It's
just it's social media. It's like them trying to. It's this is terrible. It's old people trying to reach out to the younger generation and show them a social media like. Fuck off, dude.
I hate it. It's really, really insecure, prideful NHL journalists that are like, no one's reading my articles. We need to make them the first thing they see.
I hate that. Ugh.
Oh my god! Don't even get me fucking started on hockey journalists. Like,
all right, then let's not. Let's move.
If I ever see Greg Wyshynski in my life, I'm gonna shove him in a locker. I swear. I swear to God, that guy whines so much. Like, he thinks they're the most high. He thinks as a hockey journalist, he is the most high and mighty fucking dude on the planet. Like, oh, these guys wouldn't even be famous without me. It's like, dude, your entire life is based around them doing something.
I think
without them, there is no you.
Exactly.
You're writing about city council meetings in fucking Greenwich.
Uh-huh. Well, I think the loser of the fantasy league this year should have to go to a Greg Wyshynski media.
You have to read his book.
Oh, good God! And you have to do a full presentation on it to the rest of the league.
You have to listen to him for 30 minutes talk about how it's very difficult to avoid stepping on the team logo on the floor. I can't. I don't want to even bring that up right now because I will talk literally 30 minutes about.
Let's move on. We'll bring it back up. There'll be a time.
I'll leave it at this for a cliffhanger. If you think it is difficult to avoid the team logo on the floor, fuck you.
All right. Yeah.
End of sentence. Yeah, end of sentence. It's you are in their locker room. They're asking you nicely to not step on the team logo. I understand that you might not like the tradition. I understand that you might not understand the tradition. But when they are allowing you to go into their locker room and get quotes so you can do your job. The least you can do is respect what they ask you not to do.
Those guys should be able to request security to not let those guys back in.
I put it this way: like if someone comes to your house and you're like, hey, before you come in, would you take your shoes off?
Yeah, it's muddy and raining and snowy outside.
Or even just like maybe it's just a custom, like in Asia, it's customary to take your shoes off when you come inside. Like that's just what you do.
It's like Asia and Alaska.
Okay, well, I mean, same thing, right? Mine is it's that far. It's distant and far away enough to where it could be exactly.
Yeah,
the same.
They don't exist.
Right, exactly. It's all Shangri-La to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's you're in a situation where like you are going to someone else's home. They're asking you to, I don't care if you don't he's making, why don't they just put the logo on the ceiling? They can fucking put it anywhere they fucking want. It's their locker room.
Sure. It's also
and it's not about logic. It's about a tradition. Like if you never played hockey, you don't understand the tradition. Like why would they put it on the floor if they don't want you to step on it? That's exactly the point. Like It's on the floor.
It's a respect thing.
You are purposely avoiding the logo out of respect and discipline.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Like that is the whole point. Like it is self-discipline. You are putting it on the floor so you don't step on it, and you're showing respect for the team.
Can I say one more thing on this?
Go ahead, hit me with it.
You put it on the ceiling. How many times are guys sitting at their locker and they look up to the logo? Very rarely, right? I mean, you think about the eye line, right? Those guys are probably looking to the center of the floor. Yep. Majority of the time that they're getting ready or they're sitting in the locker room.
Yep.
Why the fuck would you put it on the ceiling?
It's
literally a pride thing. Like it's their
it's a hockey custom.
Exactly.
That if you didn't play the game, which Wyshynski did not, these people think that they know the game because they've written about it, that it's their job. They think they're professionals and they think they're entitled to all this information.
It's just something to bitch about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and they just don't want to. They want to complain. Oh, I have to avoid a logo. They're making it hard to do my job. You fucking pussy.
Don't do your job, bitch.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think the loser of the league needs to go to one of his conferences, hand him a piece of paper with a pen in one hand, but then have just a fucking pie behind their back and just smack it right in his little
Like I don't want
eyes.
somebody to beat the hell out of him because he's not tough enough. Like
Well, that's what a pie, man. It's
I
just,
want
it's just
him
whipped cream.
I want him bullied. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
that is a bully. That's what a bully would say.
right. I want him as somebody who was bullied quite a bit when I was younger. I want him bullied. I don't want him mugged.
Feel it.
I don't want him mugged. I don't want the shit kicked out of him in the parking lot or anything like that. I want him to go into the locker room and then like him step on the logo and then Bedard like shoves him in his bag, like stuffs his face into his bag.
Oh, gives him the old stinky mitts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what he deserves.
Okay, I'm on board with that. All right, let's jump back into this, huh?
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
Hockey. So the Rangers and Sabres. The Rangers look good. Rangers look good. I don't think there was any doubt about that. In fact, if you're a Rangers fan, you're probably happy to see some life from Lafreniere.
Yeah.
So that's good. But your usual suspects are showing up in this game. Chris Kreider's looking like he's maybe going back to the year he had previously when he wasn't on my fantasy team. Panarin, I think, put up one Gino.
Gino and an assist, I believe.
Perfect. So yeah, that he's gotten a lot less wind resistance from being bald.
He's faster. He was noticeably faster.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the Sabres,
especially
again,
in warm-ups.
It's one game, but boy, Taylor, should we be worried about Devin Levi?
No.
Okay.
There's gonna be some growing pains with him, right? This is something that I think you and I both kind of touched on in our previews of the season for them.
Mm-hmm.
He only played like 8 games, dude.
Yeah.
That is, and first game, which is one thing. Playing the Rangers, who it's essentially the same team. Yeah, and I don't know. I wouldn't be concerned, but he's gonna have a short leash. Right, I think they it's not like they have Craig Anderson, right? They still have it's like, well, Comrie was the backup tonight, but they do have Pulkinen or whatever the fuck his name is.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some options back there. So he can't get comfortable, but he needs to have a better showing than this. I mean, Rangers is a tough first selection, especially with the way that Shesterkin was playing. I mean, that kid can fucking steal games, so. Not concerned about him yet. Again, 10 game mark. Right?
Yep.
Game 11, he's doing this. Yeah, you need to be concerned. So.
Well, shit. If I'm at 5 games and he's letting in 4+ goals, you're like, ooh, okay.
Totally.
I'm starting to call up the Ducks to see what the price is on Gibby.
Oh, what do you think of Gibby from Buffalo? What do you think that trade looks like? At this rate, I think it's forwards because they're not moving Dahlin, they're not moving Power. They just signed them both up for big time contracts. And Ducks D-Corps, all 3 of them just won the juniors. I think it's a first, a second, a third, Tuck, and
I
think they go younger. I think they go younger than Tuck. Yeah, I think Cousins.
Who else is everybody's up though?
Yeah,
like who else is in the system that's not already playing with the Sabres at the moment?
Oh, I think you see. I don't think they go first, second, third. I think they go.
I would have said Powers until he just signed.
He just signed.
It's not Powers.
I think Zach Benson needs to be in that conversation. I think that kid's gonna be fucking good.
Could you even contemplate the idea of a goalie swap? Like, does Devin Levi go back to the Ducks?
No, I think the Ducks do have some young goalies that they're into. Klang and Dostal are both potentially Devin Levi's. I mean, there's a good chance that both of those guys could potentially put up a potential career like Devin Levi. I think it's forward centric.
I rank. I know that this is kind of a weird comparison because they're in 2 different categories technically speaking. But the Devils and the Sabres, in my opinion, are like teams that are a Gibby away from being like serious conversation kind of
Yep.
stuff.
Don't disagree. Although Gibby looked like shit in preseason, so who fucking knows?
Well, Gibby doesn't like being in Anaheim anymore, so.
And but I think Zach Benson's on there. I think I don't know exactly what that package looks like, but it's definitely a young forward plus a first round pick. I think is probably where it starts.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't care about the Blue Stars. That was a boring game.
Yeah. What?
Do you have anything to say about that?
No, I just want Torrey Krug to do good so that I can feel good about all my fantasy leagues.
Yeah, instead we've got somebody named T. Tucker scoring.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? All right, let's move on. T. Tucker, congrats, bro. I don't
know. Good for T. Tuck. Devin's fucking going off right now. He's like, dude, T. Tucker is a goddamn number one prospect. I don't care, Devin. Mm-hmm. Flyers, Blue Jackets. God, battle of the two shitty teams that are trying not to be shitty.
Yeah, that's another one we could probably skip over.
Yeah, I didn't see anything from Fantilli that I cared about. Both teams kind of looked like they're shit shows. I saw a little bit of it.
I think from the Columbus standpoint, I think they're reeling a little bit, right? I mean, they probably had good God. They probably had Babs fucking, he was obviously running everything until he did his thing.
Yeah.
So, a little concerning. Kent Johnson being out of the lineup, that's a fucking joke. If you're a Blue Jackets fan, you should actually be a little bit upset with that. I think it's a terrible move.
I think they were able to hide it because Fantilli was in.
Sure, but
everybody's more excited about Fantilli being in his first game than Kent Johnson not being there. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, Kent Johnson. Fantilli, Goudreau, Laine, Kent Johnson. Right, I mean those are four best forwards. Why is this guy out unless there's something that we don't know about?
Because Boone Jenner said it's okay.
Sure, yeah, Boone thought it was fine. Merzlikins actually played a decent game, so they have potential. I think they're definitely scrambling still a little bit from Babcock. So we'll kind of see how this unfolds. But Merzlikins came out and said, he's got a vendetta, man. He didn't like the way that he played last year, and people talking shit about him, and he's still a good goalie, so we'll see.
I honestly do think that is a situation where Merzlikins, that first year that he played, like he has shown that he can be good. Now is it like a Carter Hart situation where he had the one good year and could be, but honestly, I don't know. I think that there's something there, and he to be fair to him, he has since that year he's been playing behind a pretty rough team.
And yeah. So on paper, a better team this year, but losing to the Flyers, not a good way to start. So
no,
your boy Joel Farabee scoring goal though. So
yeah, right. Nobody cares about Golden Knights Sharks. So the last thing that I'm going to end on with this night is what did I tell you about Philip Gustafsson?
You're not wrong.
What did I tell you?
I tried to tell you. We tried to pick him up in our.
We did.
In our network fantasy league. Panthers are a little beaten up right now. Right?
41. They outshot them by double.
Yeah, they're a little beaten up right now.
A 41 save shutout. Woo!
That's pretty saucy. That's pretty fucking sexy. That's the it's got to be the best 10D performance yet
so far,
right? It's got to be. That's pretty fucking nice.
Yeah, that's hard to beat.
And I know, like Florida's missing Ekblad and Montour, and they're missing a couple guys like that. But 41 shots.
The Wild aren't missing anybody except Spurgeon, right?
Yeah.
That blue line is you're not going to get any offense out of that blue line, but
no. And Faber looked. I honestly considered picking up Kalen Addison, but I think Brock Faber is probably. He's better than Addison, man. So, that's the D to have while Spurgeon's out. But yeah, Gustafsson looks good. It's not that I didn't believe you. It's hard for
the team in front of him. I can understand that.
Yeah, the team in front of him, and it's hard for goalies to have one really good year and then more often than not, unless they are a big time name, we rarely see them do it again the next season. But that's a great fucking start, man. Making people believers.
I couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, overall, first 3 days of the start, how we feeling about hockey?
I love it, dude. I'm
Yeah,
fucking. I needed it. I honestly, even all of last season, I felt a little drained. I feel refreshed. Like
I do too.
this is my shit, dude. You know, like I don't know. I don't know what it was about last year. I think just in general, I think it was maybe just outside resources for me just weren't great. So,
Maybe, yeah.
um, but I think I'm refreshed. I literally I see it on the TV now, and I'm like, fuck yeah! I don't care what game it is. I'm watching it,
No,
right? And
yeah,
it's just
I'm
that it's not how I was almost all of last
so
season, which is
excited to
sad.
have the game back. It's
Yeah,
my mental state goes up significantly when I've got something that it's always something I
hundred
can put
percent,
on in the background. Hockey's always interesting, especially getting to know the game. Like you and I, like we have our favorite teams, but we appreciate the game in
hundred
general.
percent.
So, God, it's just a blast. It's just so fun. Um, let's jump. Let's end the show here, real quick on some fantasy talk.
Could you zoom that in a little bit? I can't even see it. And I'm not super blind.
Does
There you
does
go.
that
Look at
help?
you. Look
Does
at
that
you
help?
go, you fucking stud.
Look
Yeah,
at
that
that.
helps. That
Look at
helps.
that.
This is
Um,
the Dusty DB Hockey Potters fantasy team right here.
Yes. Please remember when you look at this roster, everybody, that we are in a very deep league, 20-team league,
20 teams. Yeah.
in competition with 19 other podcasts in our league. We're playing the Bayou Benders. I don't know what podcast that is.
I don't either. Bayou. I mean, it would be maybe
Corey.
Nashville, maybe
So
Corey
apparently a
Fleetwood's a
Montreal
pretty
Canadiens podcast.
Fleetwood. That's a pretty badass. Corey Fleetwood.
That
That's a
is a pretty sweet
badass
name.
name, dude.
Let me look up while you tell the folks a little bit about our team.
Um, we went very forward heavy. We forgot about D a little bit, which is kind of on us. We definitely didn't go after some of the top goalies. Just looking at some of like our point system in this league for tendies is
Strange.
it's a little strange. They're almost it's almost a negative for goaltenders, right? Which does make the top ranked tendies, right? I mean, it makes the Merzlik or not Merzlikins, good God, Shesterkin, Sorokin, um, you know, Hellebuck, Otter, those kind of guys. It makes them very valuable because they're actually putting up plus points. So one of the things that was really interesting, kind of digging into the previous seasons for the way that this league is set up, like Elvis Merzlikins had negative 33 fantasy points all of last year, which he didn't have a good season, but you and I just are not used to that kind of scoring for goaltenders.
No.
That's a full blown. He is a liability. Like goalies are a liability to your
Right.
team, right? And so yeah, so we kind of knew that going in a little bit. So we kind of picked. There's a lot of weight towards wins for goaltenders, and so we kind of picked Corpson. Um, what's his fucking little dick Samsonov. So we kind of picked tendies who we thought could potentially put up some wins and stuff like that, just based on the team because of how much they were weighted. But we really focus on forwards because that's where a lot of your points are going to come from. Is just that forward group. Our
And we
forward
knew
group
this was going to
tonight.
be a deep draft.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it got a little stinky at the end, but I feel like besides D, I think D is a little short for us. I think our forward group, I think we did really well, right?
Want to do this live, or let's get Donato right now.
Yeah, let's pick up Donato. So that's one of the things that we were kind of alluding to earlier. Tyson Forrester being a healthy scratch, you want to pick up guys that are playing first minutes, first line minutes, first power plays, those kind of things. Donato is a guy that had some success with the Kraken last year, and he is clearly playing with Bedard and Hall before he got hurt on that top line there in Chicago. Chicago might not be a great team all year, but I mean, 18 minutes a night, first line, first power play. That's a guy in a deep league with 20 teams. You can't avoid picking up.
Yep.
So yeah, good pickup I think by us there. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with D. I think because we have two Kraken right now, we're feeling not as great about our team just because they have one goal through two games. But
I mean,
I think in general.
I mean, of the two that we've got, I'm okay with it. Like I just
Right.
dropped Burakovsky in my other league.
Mm-hmm.
Not liking that pickup. So no, I look at our squad and I think that under the circumstances, I think that we have a pretty deep team. Pavel Zacha, I think if you're in a league that if you're in a more shallow league, Pavel Zacha is a sneaky pick. You and I were
Little
talking about
sleeper,
that
yeah.
during ours. Like he fell significantly for somebody who's going to be the first line center and first line power play center on the Boston Bruins. Like that's
Just from
it's
opportunity, he could have 60 points,
yes, just from
which
opportunity, he's going to be putting up some points.
exactly from a ranking of about 200 to get 60 points out of a guy who's going 200th overall. It's pretty decent, dude.
Yep, we should probably
So
get rid of Anthony Beauvillier too.
yeah, I think that's probably our Svechnikov drop, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, as soon as Svech
Yeah.
comes back.
I,
But also, he's kind of in that same vein as Pavel Zacha, keeping an eye on Jonathan Drouin, Sharon first. So,
good
once
start for him.
if you're in normal to deep fantasy leagues, the goal is not necessarily, you're not looking at somebody that on the you're trying to find diamonds in the rough.
Sure.
And the best way to do that is to find people that are going to be surrounded by the diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
So, is Jonathan Drouin a star in this league? No. Is he going to be useful and serviceable when he's skating next to Nathan McKinnon and Rantanen? Yeah, I
100%.
would. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
put me on a line with fucking McKinnon and Rantanen, and I'm gonna get some pucks bounced off of me if I stand in front of the goal.
Guys, wait up.
Right, right. Hold on, I'll be
I'll be
right
there.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do a couple circles in the offensive zone, then I'll be there.
exactly. So, that's kind of insulting Duran a little bit. He is skilled, but he's not McKinnon and he's not Rantanen. So, you've got a guy that is serviceable, usable, and going to be in a position to succeed.
Yep.
So especially in this really like I said in our other private Dusty Bender league, it's not as shallow. I would say a 12-team league is probably pretty standard.
Mm-hmm.
But in this 20-team league, you're looking for value. You're looking for guys that are going to be sneaking on that first line, or maybe even getting power play time. Maybe not necessarily they're on. They could be on the third line, but if they're on the first power play, that's something to look for as well.
Right, and a bottom four pick, right? So I mean, this is something you do in fantasy in general, right? Where are guys projected to go? Where are people actually taking them, and what kind of value are they potentially going to bring, right? Like, what are they actually going to bring to you? So Jonathan Drouin in the bottom 4 or 5 rounds of your league is a great return, right? Because he can potentially put up, even if it's all assists, if he puts up, 65 assists, right? It's going to bring you that benefit, especially in those later rounds, than someone like Tyson Forrester, who we just had to drop, right? So if you're getting down that deep to where you're starting to get into some of those sleepers and stuff like that, a guy like Jonathan Drouin, who's clearly on the top line and had a high pedigree. I mean, like he's put up a couple seasons where he could have potentially shown that. I think he was a top 3, he's a top 5 pick or something like that. I mean, he really was a pretty high draft pick. He can show that stuff. Playing with McKinnon, like Chance was saying, you could stick a fucking pylon out there. You could stick
Right.
Doug Glad out there, and
Right.
he's gonna have like 20 goals. So
He scored with his ass.
with his ass. Yeah, so I really like this team. I think our D is a little shady, but we still got some guys on there that it's early in the season, so I don't want to get too down on guys like Gooley and Krug quite yet. But this league, we pretty much just looked at the scoring and said forwards are the key, and
Yeah.
we loaded up on forwards. So
Yeah, our goaltending is nothing to write home about.
oh sure, let's not even look at it. Yeah, can you black that out? Can you? Yeah, let's block that.
Yikes!
There you go.
Look at that.
Yeesh.
Woo!
Hello.
That is dirty. That
So
is.
so I think it's important real quick before we kind of move on from the fantasy stuff. This is something that we're gonna do every week because I think it's fun for you and I to have a team
Yes.
against other podcasts, right? We can kind of there's no hurt in us kind of talking about guys that we're gonna pick up and stuff like that. What did our boy Austin Matthews put up for that game with his 3 goals?
8.1 points. So in our league, I got 15 points from that.
Sure, right. So that and that's I think that's more normal for a lot of fantasy leagues, right? Like a little more scoring. You want to see those points a little higher. So 8.1 for a hat trick with 8 shots on goal. That's lower than we're used to, right? So I think
points are
it's gonna
just
be
harder to get in this league.
Exactly. They're much harder to come by. So it'll be interesting. So follow us through the whole season. We'll definitely every week kind of be making some of these pickups and drops um,
And if you have any fantasy questions, let us know.
fuck yeah, man.
I'm
We
always
need
looking.
this shit.
I'm
Love
always
this
looking
shit.
for it's that day where you got one play spot and 2 guys.
Hell yeah.
So let us know if you have any questions.
Cool.
Happy to help it out. All right, Taylor, that's it for this episode, eh?
That's it. Good on us, man. 1:30. Look at us.
Look at that, right on the dot. Anything else you want to throw in there? Anything else? I know that we've already talked about it, but we're going to be in downtown Seattle next Tuesday night. That's going to be October 17th. We'll be downtown having some fun. Maybe a little beforehand, but also a little bit after. So
I gotta work the next day, so we'll I could see.
So
how crazy
buy
it is.
Taylor lots of shots.
Yeah,
Come on out.
No hard liquor for me. It's just Coors Light, baby.
Sure. Yeah. That's he says that.
Now I say it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But no, gonna be a good time. What is that Irish pub that we go to that I can never remember the name of?
Oh, it's like McNaira's or McClendon.
Something like that. But yeah, we'll be. I'm already excited to go have a Guinness there before the game because we'll be at the Mediterranean nearby. So pop in there probably, and if we've got time, maybe even make it down to the beer hall.
I do want to find it real quick because I think it's important for us.
It does seem like it's not even necessarily been like we never like made it a thing, but it's just like become a thing,
Mm-hmm.
Like we always go to this Irish pub before the games.
It's not Milady's, man. I don't fucking know. All right, we'll find out.
We'll figure it out. We'll do what we did last time when we went, and we'll give them a shout out.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Thanks again for listening in. Please subscribe to us on however you guys listen to us, whether it's audio and so that we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And if you're watching us right now, we are on YouTube. So please hit that subscribe button. We have a few new followers on here. We know that for sure. So guys, welcome. We hope you love the show. We would love to engage with you guys. So jump onto us with Twitter or on Facebook, engage with us, ask us questions, send us stuff you want to hear about, anything. We're open to it. We're happy to talk with you guys.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, everybody. See ya later.